It's Gacha game time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Figma number 532. It's Pecorine from the video game Princess Connect Re-Dive. Yes, I know, I want to go back on it. I recently said like, oh Figma, I wish they would stop doing all these Gacha characters I don't care about. I still don't really care about Gacha games, but my god, do I like this design. Cute, kind of princess type character, with orange hair, a giant sword, and big bobas. How can you not like that? And I also picked this up because I got the exclusive! I got the Goodsmile exclusive with it, so there you go. Also was pre-owned at a decent price. So, that's why I got it, so I'm gonna have a look at it. Taking it out of the box and having the very first impression, I do not regret buying this so far. We'll have a look at all the details, but I really like this design and I haven't seen any big issues with it so far. Especially quality control, especially since it is a pre-owned figure, I felt like the quality control would be wild. It doesn't look like it. So, size of the figure, she stands at about 14 and a half, a little over that if you're going to the top of the ahoge, standing up the single one. And for your inches, we're going up to 5.6 and almost 5.7, 7.5 to the top of the Ahoga. Size comparisons. Here's Jolter, Saber Lily, Mizuhara Hazuki, my previous review Yo Asakura, Stage Figure Arts Son Goku, Neka Michelangelo, and Darkseid. Overall look and detail, which I feel like this character has a lot to offer. This figure has a lot to offer. And what the hell is that? Okay, be careful with that. Anyway, the hair. I want to start off at the hair for once because I love the orange that goes into the yellow. It looks like fire. It's really fiery. You have these pieces which are hard plastic and you can move them out of the way. And then you have the soft plastic kind of strands going down on all these sides. And this weird braid which they just connected into it. They didn't mold it in the hair sculpt, so it's just standing out in the worst way. Then we have the crown, which is hard plastic, and see-through hard plastic is never a good idea because it's very likely to break and it's sharp, so be very careful with that. I do love how the crown looks though. It's like see-through blue plastic, but depending on how you spin it, it's like more blue or less blue, and you know, it makes a very cool effect, especially with the lighting. Then you have the face sculpt with them big, beautiful blue eyes. I love that, and enough detail in the hair to make it look interesting. Does she have earrings or something? Just looking for some detail under there, but I don't think so. Then have the red ribbon with a little bit of gold metallic, and the one part with the paint, which is not so great, is the color. Unfortunately, it looks kind of sloppy especially on this side, but what's not sloppy and what's not a small detail are the boobs. They're right here, and they're nice and pushed up. It looks good, nicely molded. And then we have the shoulder pad on one side with the gold metallic. At first I thought it was going over the line, but I think it's supposed to do like a little bit of an arc there and then go straight. So it does look good, especially with the matte white and brown around it and whatever holding on to it. To the shoulder, moving down to some white gloves with I thought it was a watch, but it's just like a belt wrapped around it. Have some more gold on this side, and the other side doesn't have any armor. It looks a lot more simple, so just need armor on this side for whatever reason, but hey, it looks cool. Then we got the chest area, well actually more the torso area with some more gold buttons on there and the matte brown. Have bleeding on this side. Looks clean on the other side though. And then for the back we still have some more painted detail on there with some more gold, some more brown, and this little pouch, which is actually not a pouch, it's like a sheath for her ridiculously big sword, and some more detail down there. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. Just kind of wrapped up like for the corset, I guess. Kind of where the corset is bound together. Then we get down to the beautiful kind of multi-layered skirt. I mean, I love how you already have this layer on top of it. Then you have the lower half, which unfortunately they didn't mold it all the way up, so it leaves some, like, actually just in this part, like just a weird kind of hole in there, which is just so lazy. Just mold it up a little bit more so it doesn't look so disconnected. Then we have the gold painted on there. I think it's just printed. That's why it looks so super duper clean. As we go to the back, as it just continues, And then you have the red skirt on there. And this piece, which, yeah, this is probably gonna break off. I feel like that's probably already like a little bit of an issue with that. As you could tell, this is just soft plastic, and this entire piece, which is connected to the belt, is molded onto the skirt, and this part is just there to left dangling. It's not on the ball or whatever, and yeah, the way it kind of just dangles around, I feel like it's gonna break off anytime now, so I really want to be careful and not touch that anymore. But it has a nice blue on there, and also the gold, I like it. Now, you know what time it is? It's, I don't even know if I can reach that. Let me lift this up a little bit. It's pantsu time. It's just a white pantsu, but I think it's like a fairly small-ish pantsu. It's kind of wrapped up in the front part. So, I mean, yeah, there's the pantsu. It's classic stuff. I have to show it. It's a part of my contract. But also back to the skirt. I love the detail over here, the lower part, the lower half of it. Nice and molded, and also the paint. Yeah, I see surprisingly low amount of bleeding and going over the line, considering that there's tons of small details like the button and whatnot. So kudos on that. Down to the boots, where it's just brown. I don't know, like I think this tone of the line work is weird because everything else has been gold, and then it would just make it brown. But alas, I guess that's how the figure is supposed to look. We got some socks under there, which also have some molded detail, and then the boots have a lovely white, which the white also is surprisingly clean. Often we have some scratches or some dots here and there, which we only had like a scratch, like a little bit of a black line in the boop. I haven't tried to get that off, but yeah, other than that, paint shop seems to be very good. Much better than I expected, and I like this design. So for articulation, I'm going to start it off at the hair. As we established, those are on ball hinges, so you can bring that up and down and also rotate it, and it does keep the pose fairly nicely even if you lift it up like that. The head is on a ball hinge, so you can bring that back and forth, and then it ends on a ball joint in the back of the head. Makes it very easy to tilt it side to side and also bring it all the way around. Now, design-wise, also what I think kind of weird is like the ball joints for the shoulders do stand out on both sides. Now, because of the shoulder pad on this side, it's obviously very limited, and I feel like it's also blocked by this piece of hair that just kind of got stuck in there. So let's try this again. Moves up like that on this side, and for your other side, obviously moves up a little bit more. And also, if you shift it down, because you have another ball joint in the chest area, so you can bring that up and down, shift it back and forth, and that really helps with some more movement if you put it kind of in there in the socket. Gets a little bit more than when you shift it up, and then you just get this much. So it's kind of been a thing with the recent figures. I don't know, do we have a swivel in here? We do have a swivel on the shoulder, like kind of like the shoulder clothing. Then we have a simple ball hinge in the elbow. Simple ball hinge in the elbow, and the hand is on another ball hinge. Classic stuff, goes back and forth and has some rotation. Chest area does move backward, doesn't really move forward that much. Can you shift this one around also? Because I was wondering, you do have a little bit of a gap in the back, but I don't think it accomplishes really that much, but you do have some shifting side to side. Also tilts side to side and moves all the way around. Actually, the hair gets stuck in here, so be careful with that. I should take my own advice and not cut any of the hair off. Then for the lower hip part, the entire pantsu area is rotating, so you can bring that back and forth side to side. And the legs are obviously pretty much blocked. It still goes up a lot further than I thought. You have the skirt, which is cut up on the side, so you do get some pretty good kicks. It does move out to the side, and it does move to the back, and you can also rotate it on the ball. But I almost forgot the dress, because you have ball hinges on both sides over here, so you can bring that all the way up and also rotate it a little bit, obviously as much as you have room for it. And then you also have the back part, which has the same thing on a big hinge, and still does keep the pose and rotate. I really love the stabilities on these joints, by the way. Really impressive. Then we have the knee joint. simple ball hinge. And does the boot swivel? The boot does not swivel unless mine is frozen. Then you have a ball hinge for the foot, which is completely exposed. So it also works very well. You do have the pivot, which I can't really get to work because the ball itself can also be rotated in the boot. So you have that, but yeah, you have the pivot. And you also have a toe hinge. For your accessories, you have first the Figma base, which is always included with every Figma ever. You have the back. Actually, did I say base? It's the back. This is the base, which has some angles to move it around, and you can also take this off if you don't like it. So you have these option parts. Like I was saying, that's with every Figma ever. If you're not familiar with it, you have two open hands with the pointy finger hands, the open hands, and the holding hands for the sword, and two fist hands. The sword, oh my god, I love it. It's so big, but also so beautiful, and it looks like it has like a candy cane on the lower half, which has a little bit of bleeding in the red, unfortunately. It looks kind of rough in some parts, but other than that, you have the gold and some light blue on there, and some more gold on the handle, and the big sky blue on the blade. And it looks like somebody munched something out of it. Does she munch on her own sword? I know she's like supposed to be like the guildmaster of the Gourmet Guild. Is there like chocolate in this? Is that chocolate in this? Is there like a theme to that? I don't know. Speaking of eating and Gourmet Guild, you have the rice ball, which obviously has a big chunk already bitten out of there. And then you have boobs. Yes, you have a different pair of boobs, as my voice is leaving me. And for comparison's sake, they are a little bit more squished together, which is mostly just when you have one hand. When you want to have a pose where she two-hands the sword, and you can't get the hands together if you have them big boba. Also, she has like praying hands. I almost forgot about those. Those over here. So, if you want to move the arms, the shoulders a little bit closer, you're gonna have to use the squished boba. So there you got that. And for your faces, we have a smiling face, well, a winky face, the starry-eyed face, and also this closed eyes smiling face. All right, so fun little story. I couldn't get the base in because the hole is way too small. So I used the hairdryer to heat it up to get the base in. Meanwhile, the little blue gem on her belt broke off, as I mentioned before, because that was already wobbly, and it fell into the sink. It even got like stuck in there. I tried to get like these pinchers over here, and I tried to get it, and whoop, it was gone. So yay! I'm so lucky with these things. Next time, let's close this down, I guess. Awesome. And so, after this happy little accident, I am once again done with this shit. Why does this keep happening to me? Why am I so unlucky with these things? Anyway, the figure's great. Yeah, there's not much I can complain about. The paint job is amazing. The articulation is mostly standard, but they did a good job with all the skirt parts, and the accessories are great. I love the big sword, I love the giant rice ball, although she doesn't have a specific hand for the rice ball, so you don't really have a good connection. It's just kind of resting on there. The sword also fits very well into the sheath in the back of it, so no issues there. And yeah, I do recommend this one, even if you're not a fan of the Gacha game. Like me, I'm not a fan also, but I still think this figure looks cool and it's very well engineered, and I don't have any problems with the paint and whatnot, so that's why I'm going to recommend it. That's going to do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Pecorine wants.